Survivor Thrivers. Authentically Me, Regina B, is back doing a film or a video for you guys. I don't like calling it film because I guess I'm filming or more so like recording myself. I'm not filming anything. When I think of film, I think of like a movie or something. But anyway, I am back recording a video to give you guys an update on the 7-week journey of cognitive behavioral therapy, Retrain Your Brain in 7 weeks, as well as this Monica Sweeney one, Let That Go. I actually finished this today. It's done. But as far as recording videos goes, my last video was week 6, day 4, and I did over the weekend film a video for day 5. But today I'm just gonna sit down and go through day 6 and 7 with you guys. Instead of reading it, line by line, I went through and I just highlighted the main points. And I'm gonna share with you the answers to the questions that he asked me. But if you are new to the channel, this is the journey. We journey through therapy workbooks or just different workbooks to just get a better understanding of ourselves. If we need to heal from something, healing from something, this retraining your brain, cognitive behavioral therapy, it really just helps you not think about your thoughts, but it helps you with thought patterns. And it's also here to help you with dealing with anxiety and depression and the thoughts that we have that lead us into having anxiety and being depressed. And it just really teaches you how to manage your anxiety and your depression and your thoughts. So we're gonna get right into it. We are on, like I said, week 6, and I'm going to share with you days 6 and 7 because I already did a video for day 5 that I need to upload, and I will be doing that when I get to it, but I have it turned to the page here. And for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't saw any of the other videos in reference to this, I would suggest going back through just so you kind of know what this is all about and how it goes. He always starts each week with an example of a session that he's had himself with a client to help us get an understanding of the work that we're going to be doing. So let's get into it. And all of my videos are impromptu. If you like that kind of thing, great. If not, it may be challenging to enjoy this channel. So let's get into day 6. So on day 6, we were already talking about exposure. So he talked about depression and how to give yourself exposure to that. So put yourself in situations that may, make you feel uneasy, just so that you can say how you practice, basically, like practicing. Exposure, think about when you're exposing old school photo or something. But anyway, let's get into this. Generalized anxiety disorder. Most of the fears we focused on so far have been about things that are unlikely to happen. When our anxiety is focused mainly on worries, our fear is based on our lack of control over the things we care about most. That is so true. Do you find yourself repeatedly worrying about things? If so, list some of your recent worries in the place below. Page 179. So it says, my faith, I'm still unlearning the behave to be saved mentality. My son, he was out with friends and I hadn't heard from him. So for a moment, I was worried about his well-being. My health, my physical appearance, looking fat. I could go on and on and on. Worrying about, my marriage, worrying about my home, worrying about my children. The list goes on. And like he said, he says, when our anxiety is focused mainly on worries, our fear is based on a lack of control. Because, me not being able to hear from my son, I lack the control of knowing exactly where he is, So yeah. And then it says worry as avoidance. It's hard to make an exposure hierarchy for worries. By definition, the anxiety and generalized anxiety disorder isn't confined to a specific set of situation or objects. Hey, as you guys know, I have a family. My husband's working from home. My little baby's here. So if you hear noise in the background, that's what it is. Okay, so it says, nevertheless, there is a version of exposure that can be helpful for the worry and cognitive avoidance, the effort to push certain fears out of one's mind that are part of GAD. The act of worrying itself can be an attempt, usually unintentional, to avoid thinking about really frightening things that could happen. The problem with pushing things out of our minds is that they tend to come back more often. And one classic study by Daniel Wagner and his fellow researchers, participants were told not to think about a white bear during a 5-minute period. Of course, the harder they tried not to think about it, the more often they did. That is so true. It says, accepting what we fear. When we run from what we fear, it can make what we're afraid of seem worse than bad. There's something about confronting our worries head on that can make them less threatening. Thus, the antidote for avoiding thinking about our fears is to deliberately think about them. When we have worries about bad things happening, we can practice exposing ourselves mentally to the possibility that what we're afraid of could happen. Like it could. And so it says, I could practice accepting the possibility that what I'm afraid of might happen. Most likely, we'll have an initial increase in anxiety from telling ourselves that what we fear might happen. However, if we continue to practice responding to our worries with acceptance, they tend to lose their sting and stop bothering us as much. If you're prone to worry that's hard to control, what are some statements that would help you practice accepting the uncertainty surrounding what you fear? Page 180. So I wrote, God's love can never be taken away. Jesus loves you enough to have given his life for the penalty of my sins. My son always makes it home safely. Nothing ever happens the way I imagined them. Things are never as bad as I thought. I am physically fit. I'm in good health. Even if I get sick, my body will heal. So those are some ways of practicing accepting the things that I had just listed that I worry about or that I fear about. Life, even what I'm realizing recently, like we've had some ups and we've had some downs, and the ups have been up and them steep things. What bird is that? Oh my God, I gotta pause it, y'all. I gotta pause. Hold on. I'll be right back. I feel a hawk just flew in the tree right in front of the window. Yep, it flew off now. Yes, it was right there on that one. Wow. Yes.
Was it big?
Yes.
On the archie right here?
Yep. That was so cool.
Squirrels or something.
Okay. He probably is looking for squirrels. But yeah, what I was saying is like, that was such a blessing. We've had some really great moments, and we've had some really moments that were just devastating. And I just feel like that can create worry on the good days because you're thinking like, okay, when is the next thing going to happen? And it's like just accepting like things are not always going to go as planned. Situations are not always going to go the way we want them to, but we can deal with it when it happens. That hawk throwing me off through my whole train of thought off. Oh my gosh. I love birds. I'm a bird watcher. I just enjoy them. They're beautiful. And we live next to not far from a body of water. So we have a lot of wildlife around here. Okay, so next, I answered that. Next it says living in an imaginary future. When we worry about events that might happen, like losing our health or our loved ones, we can feel as though these events have already happened. In doing so, we suffer many times over, even before a challenging event has occurred. We'll spend a lot of time feeling bad about something that might never happen. And quite often, the things that I think when I'm worrying and being fearful, like the things that I think are going to happen, never do. Never do. And sometimes the things that I don't think are going to happen do happen, positive and negative. Anyway, so he says, can you think of a recent time when you were so worried about something that you felt like it was happening already? If so, describe it in the space below. That's funny. It says, yes, when I had a lump in my groin area, I was worried it was something way more serious than it ended up being. I prayed about it and declared I am well and it's nothing serious. I also had a feeling it was due to a hard run, which it was, but I still couldn't help thinking it was more serious, and it upset me a lot. So much so to where I scheduled an appointment to like a gynecologist, which, because of my situation, you guys know that with my fourth baby, for those of you that don't know or are new to the channel, with my fourth baby, I had complications and I had to have a partial hysterectomy. So technically I don't need to see a gynecologist. Like, she told me that and I was like, I know, but, and the lump that was there it was just the groin was irritated. So it had swelled up because I did a hard run. And this was January 3rd that I completed this. So I probably didn't even properly stretch out my groin. I tend to have a very tight groin area. And if I am not mindful of really stretching it out after a run, I could start to feel like tightness and tension. And I've injured it before. So anyway, getting back into this, he says, I like to pair accepting the possibility that what we worry about could happen with the return to the present, to what's actually going on. That way, we neither run from our worries nor give them more airtime than they deserve. Keep in mind that the point of returning to the present is not to avoid our fears, but to be more fully engaged in the reality of our lives. And for me, and if you guys, don't have a relationship with God, definitely seek one out. I was just telling my husband, like, Christ is my anchor. And so even with that worry, I practiced this without even knowing that I was practicing it, because I was literally in the shower praying. And then when I was like, oh my God, what's this down there? Something came over me and was like, you did a hard run. It wasn't there earlier. Now it's there. That could be the only thing. And then that worrisome voice came back of like, well, what if it's cancer? Or what if it's this? And then I was just like, well, Lord, I don't want it to be that. Please protect me. But if it is that, I know that I'm going to be okay. And I know that I'm going to be healed. And so it's just like this. It's like a duel. Like you have a thought. For me, it's like I have a thought, I pray, I feel a sense of comfort, and then maybe something else will come up. And it's just like this cycle till it doesn't bother me anymore. Like that thought I'm not even bothered by it anymore. And that was actually day 6 done. So now we're to day 7. And it says, creating your own hierarchy. Now it's time to put together your own exposure hierarchy. If you prefer, you can make your hierarchy in a spreadsheet so the items are easy to sort by difficulty level. If you want to use paper and pen, fill in the form below. Keep in mind that you don't have to be able to do all of them. As you work your way up, the more difficult ones will start to feel more doable. For the anxiety scale, use the following guidelines. And it says 0 equals no distress, 5, difficulty but manageable, and 10, most distress I've ever felt. The hierarchy form includes reminders of the key points to make your exposure successful. And here's the form. And right here are the key things to make it successful. And it says reminders. Anxiety goes down when we face it. Work through your hierarchy progressively and systematically. Stay through discomfort. That's the most important thing. Eliminate unnecessary props and safety behaviors. Embrace discomfort and uncertainty. So let's see. What did I put? Oh, and I checked them off. Wait. Page 183. So things that cause me anxiety, finding races to do. I love doing races and I've challenged myself to go to them and do them. But there's always anxiety around it when I do sign up for a race. So the distress level on that is a 5 for me. Running a group run with KCRC, and for me that's going to be a 10. I haven't done it yet. I put a star by it because it's something I really want to do. There's a run group that happens twice a week in the evenings, and I really want to just join. It's open to anyone. Organize something around my home. I've done that and it's manageable. Let's see here. What else did I put? Film a video or record a video. I'm doing that. And guys, thank you so much for your support. Every time I do this, when I watch the playback, I always feel anxiety. Just because I'm putting myself out there and I'm nervous about my reading or how I sound, or even if what I'm doing has any relevance at all, but I do it anyway because I enjoy it and it's something that I want to do. And that is that on that. So then let's go to, excuse me. We are finally done with this one. So it says, planning items to complete, review your exposure hierarchy. Where is a good starting point for you? Plan to start with activities that will be difficult but manageable. Yep. And so it says, you've now worked through 6 modules of this self-directed treatment. Congratulations on all the work you've done. For now, take a few moments to consider how you're feeling in week 6 of this program. What stands out to you from this chapter on facing your fears? Record your thoughts and feelings in the space below. And so I write, so for what I just said, the activities: finally attend a yoga class, 5, attend a church service, 10, visit my grandfather, 10, and then like I said, with the running group, that's a 10, and I haven't done it yet. So it says, I enjoyed this chapter. I've realized that majority of my fears are unfounded. Also that I can face the things that I fear. And also it's okay to fear the unknown. It's not okay to let fear stop me from experiencing new things. So that's what I learned from week 6. And just a lot of stuff I think that we do, we just don't realize that we're actually doing cognitive behavioral work. Because, we all have to move through life. Unless you're just blessed to be able to work from home. I know that there's people that are able to, I watched a video about people who were passing out on live, and it was really like the people that do like Twitch, like the gamers that can just game all day and all night. And one guy had been basically twitching all for 2 or 3 days straight, and he's on Twitch live and it shows him just falling out. And the blessing of that is because he was live, people were able to contact the police and emergency services. But we got to move through life. I have kids, so I can't let fear just make me freeze in place. Like, I gotta go place. I gotta pick them up from school, or I gotta go to a school program and be around people that I don't want to be around. Even recently, when me and my husband went grocery shopping, we were in like a small area where all the meat was. It was just so many people and so many carts. And I just remember I was starting to feel anxious, and I was just like, I need to remove myself from this area, because it was carts going everywhere, and but I was fine. I stayed. We finished the grocery shopping. It was something that was necessary. So we're going to get into, on my next video, I'm going to get into week 7, which is done. And I'm also going to give you guys an update on the next workbooks that I'm excited to work through. I'm still praying about it to make sure that it's a workbook that I want to do and that I can do because of its subject matter. But hey, we're a small community right now. I'm not monetized, so I feel like I can talk about whatever I want to talk about, and whoever ends up finding me will find me. But yeah, we're done with that one. And then where are we at on the Monica Sweeney? Let me hurry up, y'all. Let's see. Did I skip a day? No? Okay. Where are we? Make a list of your personal characteristics, the ones that you feel shitty, the ones that make you feel fucking great, and the ones you'd like to have one day. It says, I always wanted to be somebody, but now I realize I should have been more specific. Lily Tomlin. And so the things that make me feel crappy, of course that list is longer. So it says insecure, easily distracted, moody, overthinker. And then I put I'm brave, I'm patient, I'm funny, great imagination, hard worker, when it comes to like running and stuff. So circle the ones you are aiming for. How can you use the ones that make you feel great to get to the ones you're aiming for? Imagine myself being those things. Be patient and grateful of the current situation that I'm in. So that was the work that I've done there. I'm only going to share one because this book is smaller and I want this video to be shorter. Thank you guys so much for being on this journey with me. I greatly appreciate it. It continues to motivate me and drive me to continue on this journey. And what that journey is just life. So thank you for living life with me. Thank you for spending the time to watch this video. It's so unprofessional, but I hope that that makes it endearing to you. And again, if you're struggling, just know that it's not gonna last forever. I think sometimes in our minds, we think that our present struggles are going to go on forever and forever and forever, and they're not. Just like every season ends and every season begins anew. So there's going to be an ending to it, and then there's going to be a new beginning. And we just have to accept that there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. Don't believe this bill of good about, being happy and all the time and everything just being great. And, I was reading in James chapter 1, and he was saying, count it all joy when you go through trials because it refines your faith. And if you never went through anything, how would you be able to strengthen your faith, grow your faith, know that you can make it through something that is devastating, that is humiliating, that is, makes you sad or makes you depressed or makes you angry. You can press through anything and come out on the other side braver, stronger, more confident, and your faith will grow. The more things that we face and the more things that we faith our way through, the stronger our faith will grow and the more connected we'll feel to God. So I hope that helps you because it helps me and it has helped me in this journey called life. And I just want you to know, if no one's told you today, you matter. And not only have you survived, you thrive. Okay? Peace.